I'm curious what's going to happen with Vacasa. I mean, it's weird. You get reminders everywhere that they're scaling back. I had a client yesterday where he's going to come on our rental program, which is great. I think we're up to 70 properties now in our rental program.
That's really good.
We like that.
You guys, what John's talking about is Vacasa. They bought that. Oh, what was the name of that? That was Abbott Realty, and then
Yeah, Resort Quest here. And then they
and then,
bought Meyer over in Orange Beach.
and now their main buildings for sale or lease in Destin.
They got rid of their real estate arm. So think of all those properties they manage and they got rid of their real estate arm. That just doesn't make any sense. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's what's going to happen. A lot of real estate companies are going to go out of business. Transactions down, their income is down, unless they have a rental management arm that's supporting the retail their sales. A lot of companies are going to be in trouble going forward.
That's what I leaned on in 2008.
Yeah. That was what we had a sister sell, and they were in around and they went away. I can't even remember all the companies that disappeared into thin air.
Facebook is an amazing thing. I mean, it's got a lot of downside, no doubt. But I have a lot of people barely hit me. They glance off the side, but from posts I write that I would have no interaction whatsoever with them other than a little like or a heart button on a post. Which is kind of cool because they keep me top of mind, or keeps them top in my mind. That it's weird. I like that about it. 1 minute and counting.
1 minute, yeah.
Hey John, how does your rental arm work? How does that work for you?
How does that work for me? It works quite well. So we have a short-term property management company that my wife manages. And it's a completely separate entity. She's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. But our things are running on parallel lines and they work really well together. Does that answer the question? Or
many real estate agents ask me and they want to get into rental management. Be careful, guys. You don't want to spend that kind of time for $100 or $200 a month.
We do short term. So it's a lot more, but there's a lot of work.
Hard, very hard work.
A lot of work. But you know what? It comes with annual contracts, which are a sellable commodity. All right, at any rate, 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and start. Go time. Yesterday's yesterday. Tomorrow's tomorrow. Let's get a win in the column for today. All right, when we start here, can I get this properly? If I get out of the way here, we'll zoom in on that. Okay, here's what I want to talk about today. These countries, USA, these are the top oil producing countries in the world. USA #1. We're also the top user of it. Saudi Arabia 2, Russia 3, Canada, Iraq, China, UAE, United Arab Emirates, and Iran. Okay, let's go through it real quick. USA throttling back refining capabilities. Okay, problem. Saudi Arabia on the fence, trying to decide between China, Russia, and USA. On the fence. Not confident on what our government's doing there. Russia, we're in a proxy war with Russia. Canada, yeah, whatever. Iraq, that's a problem, right? Anybody feel confident about Iraq? China, anybody feel comfortable with what's going on in China? UAE, not sure what's going on there. Iran, we're in a proxy war. So we're in a proxy war with 1, almost 2, probably 3, 4. Saudi Arabia's on the fence. What this means is the amount of oil going to be refined in the coming months and year is going to probably take a massive hit. And when oil refining goes down, prices go up. And when the price of oil, which is the price of everything, goes up, the price of everything goes up. And when the price of everything, including real estate, goes up, so do interest rates, right? Because that's their big tool against inflation is interest rates. So I know there's talk of lower interest rates, but if you're going to have war or potential war in oil producing countries, that's going to have a profound effect. So just put that in your pipe and smoke it. We
So
might be
you
moving
had-
into a period of hyperinflation.
So John, you were talking about, what was it, 1971 to 81 or something, interest rates went?
Okay, so in the 70s, if you go back and look at the 70s, it's kind of weird, all the correlations. One, and I don't know what your politics are, but we had a weak president back then in Jimmy Carter. Okay. We had lines for people getting gas. We had massive inflation. We had all that stuff. And there was the Yom Kippur War. It was Israel versus the Arab states. Saudi Arabia put an oil embargo on the US and other countries that supported Israel that caused problems with refining of oil. And interest rates went to the moon. So prices of everything went to the moon. And Paul Volcker, who was the federal chair or chairman of the Fed Reserve back then, had to raise rates. He did it slowly, relatively slowly over 10 years. They went from 8% to 19.4, or whatever the hell it was, something like that, over 10 years. Okay. So they went up. It was a problem. I think they maxed in 1981. So in the 70s, interest rates went up, 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 up. But the interesting thing, the median sale price for a house, I can't even believe I know all this, but study a little bit. The median sale price for a house in 1971 was $25,500, okay, across the US. In 1981, I think it was $74,900. So it went up almost 3 times, which is interesting because because interest rates went from 8 to 19, which is 2.24% or whatever that is. So if interest rates double and people still paid triple for a house, it still happens. So don't think that these interest rates are going to be a problem for housing. Well, it might be a problem for the buyer. But even in the last 2 years, we've seen interest rates go from what, 2 point something to 8. Some people call that triple, almost triple anyway, or almost quadruple. But prices, I don't know if they've dropped. If they have, it's been marginally. So I don't know. Are prices going to come down? Maybe, maybe not. Are interest rates going to come down? Maybe, maybe not. But we have a large outside influence factor here that will probably cause prices to go up. So I don't know. Supply is your main ticket here. If there's a lot of options to buy, prices will go down. Not a lot of options to buy, prices will remain high. All this says is if you have somebody on the fence thinking about buying, but they want to wait for interest rates to go down, I would buy 100%. And if rates do go down, if they go down, if they go down, then you can refi. If they don't go down, if they go up, well, then you're a genius for buying now. Okay. You almost can't lose in that regard. Now, if you think prices are going down and you want to wait for prices to go down, okay, I get that. And let's say prices drop by 10%, 40 grand on a $4,000 house, which probably seems like a lot, maybe not in the investment world, but in the real world, that's probably a lot. That would be a massive real estate drop in Des Moines. Okay. So it's not going to drop that much. But if you're waiting for it to drop, say $10,000, $15,000, the likely result of that will be a higher interest rate. So if you're borrowing money over 30 years to save 15 grand, you're probably going to spend 60,000 to save 15. Doesn't make sense, people. So be willing, able, and ready to have conversations about, and there's calculators on the internet. Just go on the internet, do not the month-to-month cost, but the length of the loan cost. And you're going to see, you're going to borrow 300,000, you're going to pay back 600 over the course of the loan, right? So I don't know what I'm talking about, but go look into that before you help a buyer or don't.
The motivation for buyers and sellers, they'll figure out, just like they did in the 70s and early 80s, we'll figure out how to sell properties, get people financed, and get to the closing table. Just keep working.
Don't wait. Solve today's problem today.
Right.
Okay. And go buy a property, guys. Prices are going to go crazy up, right? And the number one hedge against inflation is a fixed rate debt on a appreciating asset, a house. Okay. All right. So there you go. There's that. All right. So let's talk about what we want to talk about today. I'll start it out. If you're not hitting your goal, if you're not achieving what you want to achieve, if you're not a gazillionaire, if that's what you want to be, if you're not, I don't know, president of your HOA or dad of the year, whatever your thing is, if you're not getting it, I would argue it's because you have too many choices that are pulling at your attention and focus and capabilities. All right. Too many choices is a bad thing. All right. They'll try to convince you choice is great, spice of life, all that crap. And that's true in some regards, but no, too many options is a bad thing. It's called the paradox of choice. If you have too many choices, it gets very hard to decide what is the best choice. And then ultimately you freeze and have none. I'll select none. And you stop, right? It's in our daily lives. And Jeff, you were telling me about this morning. What were you saying, how this works?
So what happens is your brain uses most of the energy that you have.
Limited.
It's in the 20 plus percent. So what it does, it tries to conserve energy by, have you ever done anything on autopilot? Like when you get up and get ready for work and do the same thing every day without thinking? Have you ever driven anywhere and didn't remember driving there because you were on autopilot? Your brain tries to handle as much as it can that way. Your brain loves habits. Yep. Loves habits. So I remember a story Gary Keller told years ago when I was way younger. It was everything to eliminate needless choices. He had everything in his closet matched. So it was one decision or choice he didn't have to make. He could grab anything in his closet and it all matched, because he wanted to save his energy for the most important decisions he had to make that day. So it's just a little thing, but and that's what we're going to talk about today. So you can sleepwalk through your life and your brain will let you do that. And however, it's like what we're talking about today. Sleepwalking through your life is just getting up and doing what you do and not taking any conscious effort to change it. So if you're not hitting your goals and dreams, you're going to have to identify it, that's setting goals, and make a conscious effort to make a change, and then keep it consistent over time.
So here's what you do. You got to take the decision of what to wear out. I mean, I don't care what you wear, but you got to take the ability to, not the ability, take the decision-making out. Take it out. Make things a habit. And it gets to the point where you can do that. Take decisions out. And then when it relates to real estate sales, which is why we're here, what you need to do is take the decision. What am I going to do today? That cannot be what's in your world. What you're going to do today cannot be a thing. You have to wake up knowing today I'm going to do lead gen in the morning. We're in real estate sales. It's what you do. 9 to 12 every day, Monday through Friday, Friday through Monday, Monday through Friday. Every day, 9 to 12. What are you doing this morning? I'm doing lead gen. It's what I do every morning, 9 to 12. What are you doing tomorrow? Lead gen. It's what I do every morning, 9 to 12. When do you do that again? Every day, 9 to 12. Lead gen, every day. You guys feeling what I'm putting out there? You already know what tomorrow is, because tomorrow you're doing lead gen from 9 to 12. Now you're going to have to figure out what lead gen looks like for you. But once you figure that out, take it away, right? Everything else goes away. It's just tunnel vision. That's the way it works. In the afternoon, what I would tell you is preview 2 properties. What am I going to do in the afternoon? Well, I'm going to preview 2 properties. You can do other things. I don't care. Do other things, but you're going to preview 2 properties. What are you doing in the afternoon? I'm going to preview 2 properties because that gives me the confidence when I do my lead gen in the morning to talk because I'm previewing all these properties. It gives me massive, massive, massive confidence
Yep.
because I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Here's
Right?
a story about that. So, I went to a house and I was going to list the property or interview for listing it. And the guy says, "Hey, I want to list the house for this much money because the house 2 doors down sold theirs for X." I said, "Sir, have you ever been in that house?" "No." "Okay. Well, it was completely professionally painted. Someone staged it. Even the towels were matching everywhere. It had flowers, candles lit. It was beautiful. His house had an aquarium that smelled when you came in the door. They had young children, so they had diapers in the pails. The baseboards were beat up, and the house was in no way the same. That's the kind of information you would know if you preview.
But you can't know it if you don't preview.
Right.
So you got to. And it's free. Don't cost much. Maybe gas money. So those, if I was y'all, I would just make a mental thing that says every day, here's what I do. I roll in, I'm doing lead gen, whether it's here, door knocking, open house, skywriting, bake sales, pie sales, cookie sales, whatever. I'm doing some form of reaching out to my database and growing my database every day, 9 to 12, 3 hours every single day. All right. No classes, no meetings, no choice. This is what I'm doing. Right. That's what I do.
John, I would add to that. You time block. You have a time block of what you're doing, and you say, no other things go in here. Occasionally, you have to insert something in that time. And so if you have to insert something in that time, you move that time block and complete it during the other time. I don't like to move lead gen because lead gen, you want to do at a certain time. But, things like inspections, previews, whatever, the less that you have to think about, the more likely you're going to get it done. I would compare it to training for any event. So I'd compare it to, for example, I did a triathlon. In the triathlon, when I decided to do it, I didn't know. It's like starting real estate. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what the steps were. But what I did is every day I got up at 4:00. The habit was putting the time block in there. At 4:00 I was up, and then I would look at my calendar and it would say, today you're going to run, today you're going to swim, today you're going to bike. And then when you get done with that, you're going to do the other thing for X amount of minutes. And I didn't I didn't know what it was. I just knew during that time block, I was going to do that thing until I was done. And that's the same as lead gen habits.
Apply that to your lead gen. Think about it. You're going to do exercise. Okay, got it. Today, I'm going to phone calls. Tomorrow, I'm open house. The next day, I'm skywriting. Whatever it is, right? You're doing a seminar or something, whatever. But your lead gen.
Right.
Lead
it's
gen.
blocked. It's on the calendar.
Yep. And then be smart about it and dial it in. So you're not like, well, what lead gen am I doing on Wednesday? For me, I'm doing it this way every day, all the time. End of story, right? Because that's all I can handle because I'm a pea brain. But if you can put every Monday is this, every Tuesday is that, every Wednesday is this, whatever, that's cool. Go for it. But it's got to be there and be very hard on yourself. I'll just move it today. Pretty soon you got no schedule. You're moving shit every day. Don't do that.
And it's a big exception. You don't want to make the exception, but that's why you put the block on your calendar, because frequently if you try to move it, you'll notice it doesn't get done.
Yep. I promise y'all, if you do that and then preview, I don't know for sure because I don't know all y'all very well, but I don't think y'all are previewing property every single day. But God damn it, if you would, oofa, what you would learn, what you would know.
Oofta. That's in North Dakota. Oofta.
Yeah, what you would know after a week, a month, a year. Can you imagine if you spent 22 days a month, 12 months a year? What is that, 400 and some days? That'd be 800 properties that you've been in. You would know the market like, oh my Lord.
Mhm.
But
And I would second what you said about it gives you confidence.
oh,
You know, when you're lacking confidence because things aren't going well and you preview, then every conversation you have between previewing and knowing your numbers, just, you know, reading stuff every day. What are the stats? What are the stats? What are the stats? You see the trends, you develop knowledge, and then you can talk to more people confidently.
amazing, amazing. And here, and then it goes from there because you have confidence in you. The people you talk to are going to have confidence in you, right? And then it's a snowball. Look out, here we come. But when you go in there timid, have you been in this property? No, me either. We got that. Right?
Oh.
Well, why am I paying you? I don't know, right? Yeah, it's exactly what happens. So here, I'm telling you guys, when I go on a listing appointment, it is rare that commission ever comes up. It just doesn't come up. Doesn't come up. And the reason why is I'm well practiced at what happens on a listing appointment. I know my stuff and they go, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. I have no problem paying what they're asking for because I believe it's going to get done. It's when they don't believe that you're going to get it done and they're taking on risk that they want to minimize any expense, typically speaking, right? So today, you got anything else to add on that, Jeff?
No, I'm with you.
Okay, so let's take the decisions out of your life, people. When you leave here today, write down what the rest of your work life is going to be like. And I would strongly encourage you to do lead gen 9 to 12. And the reason why is not so much you, it's the rest of the world that works best in the morning. Okay. The rest of the world is operating between 9 and 12 in the morning. By the time the afternoon rolls around, they have lunch and they're thinking about going home. You're fighting an uphill battle. Even if you are an afternoon superstar, it's the rest of the world, unless you're buying your own stuff. Get good in the morning with lead gen. It's no decision. You roll out of bed, you're doing your lead gen, and it looks like this. And then in the afternoon, you're going to preview 2 properties. There still should be some time where you can study the market. There still should be some time where you can role play. There still should be time for appointments, all that stuff. But you have one appointment from 9 to 12 every day, locked. Don't get your hair cut at 10:30, right? Don't schedule the doctor appointment at 9. No, don't do it. Don't do it. You can move your afternoon. All you got to do is preview 2 properties. Could be at 12, could be at 5. That leaves a lot of room in the middle. You know, whatever. So work on that. That's what I got. Jules, you got anything?
That's it. I agree.
Easy
We're the
day,
same
easy
every
day.
day-
People,
every
you
day.
put that into work. By Christmas time, your life will be dramatically different. Promise. And apply it to your everyday life too. I promise you'll have a much better life.
Yeah, how many days are left in the year? Like 43 or something? Very few days.
I'm done after
Work day.
Halloween, so I don't know about you,
Yeah,
but
very few work days left. We should do a countdown on birthdays left.
Including
for the
today,
year.
62 days.
minus weekends.
62, including
Minus
week.
Thanksgiving, minus Christmas, minus
Yeah.
all the
And then
Yom
minus the
Kippur.
holiday parties, we owe it 3 days. Bye. Let's go to work. Go to work.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.